John Laval here on electric cars versus gas cars. I just got an email, this is why I'm doing this video. He mentioned that they were getting better life out of the batteries now, a little bit longer. It used to be about 3 years, but they're getting more out of the battery, depending on what type of battery you get. But he was still saying that the battery replacement is, he was saying 25 grand, I think, and like I see him at about 22,000 plus labor to replace that battery. So if that's a concern for an electric car owner, it's quite expensive. Now I drive a Honda CR-V, and I'm probably under 400 bucks a year for gas. It's a small 4-cylinder, and I'm on the highway. That needle never moves. And I'm not saying everybody gets this money. I mean, the big pickup trucks, it costs you $5 to start them. I mean, I understand that. Now, here's a scenario I want to point out about fuel, because he mentioned that the gas prices just keep going up. Well, okay, they won't keep just going up. They're going up now because they can play the market and they can play the people, because we're all predominantly gas driving car owners. Electric doesn't represent a real big percentage of cars. In fact, there's been a couple of electric car companies that actually crashed because they just couldn't get, it was impractical. There was no place to charge them and stuff like that. It's still a fairly impractical vehicle. They have range problems. My vehicle doesn't have any range problems. I can go to, I don't have to drive very far before I hit another gas station, so it has that advantage. Anyways, so he says that gas will go up in price, actually will go down in price, and I'll tell you why. If you were to take all the gas cars in the world and get rid of half of them and replace them with electric cars, what do you think the fuel prices are going to be? Do you think they're going to increase the fuel prices to cover their losses? No, they have this thing called electric car that's killing their industry, and they're going to want to get rid of this industry, or they're going to get rid of themselves. So what they're going to do is they're going to drop the prices. They'll knock 2/3 off the price. They did it with home fuel and stuff. Electricity used to be the cheapest heating for your house was oil, and then the electrical companies came in and they offered heating your house for electricity for less than oil. So everybody shifted to electricity and started killing the oil company. Then the gas companies come in and said, we can do it cheaper than the electricity company. And then it's been a war since, but the truth of the matter is the gas company won because they can produce it for less. And but that's why the prices are cheap, because if they ever attempt to bring it up, the other ones, everybody will just convert either back to electricity or they'll go back to oil. Well, same thing with cars. This is the oil business is massive. They're not about to give that business up because some electric cars showed up on the block. They're going to drop the prices down so low and try and kill that industry. This way here, if they do kill it, which they won't, but if they do kill it, then they can charge what they want for it. It's called supply and demand, and that's the number one rule in sales, supply and demand. So the gas prices are going to drop so cheap. So you guys who got these pickup trucks and stuff that really suck in the fuel, don't panic. The fuel prices are going to eventually drop down to, you'll be paying 50 cents a gallon for fuel. That's how they'll go all the way down there to discourage people buying electric, because electric is going to have to come way up to being a viable industry. Right now it's not. As I said, it's 22,000 bucks for a battery, and I'm telling you, I'm driving 400 bucks a year on gas. I think I'll stick with the gas vehicle. I mean, geez, in 10 years I've only spent $4,000 on gas. And not, this is a Honda. I mean, it's an old Honda. This one I'm talking about. I have other cars, but this one is 17 years old, and still, it's not even a fuel efficient car, and it still runs on buttons. And as I say, you have a range problem with the electric cars. You can't. A lot of them are 40 miles or 40 kilometers. Then you got to plug in. You got to find a place to plug in. Now, eventually they'll have plug-in centers. And then you're looking at, some people say they can do their vehicle in 1 hour. I've also read reports that chargers can take over 20 hours. So that means I don't get to use it tomorrow to go to work. I can only use it every second day. So there's still problems with it. And they're really going to have to pull up their boots as far as, this is what they're going to have to happen. They're going to have to give you a car that's about more than half less than they're selling for right now, and they're going to have to give you a battery that lasts forever. And when you throw a charge in it, it'll drive at least 500 to 1,000 miles, or they're not going to win, because the gas car will do that, and it'll do it for buttons because the fuel prices are down so low. And people say, well, what about the environment and global warming, greenhouse? Okay, people need to understand this. You don't have to feel guilty driving a gas car, because that issue, gas cars are a contributor of under 5%. In other words, the pollution index band is under 5% for cars, and it's industrial pollution that's the big slice, not cars. You could take all the cars in the world off the road and it won't affect the pollution index at all. But people have been convinced of this because of interest groups, special interest groups, and people who profit from this stuff. You have to be very, very careful when you hear people it's in every cause and every activist. I did a video on all the misinformation you get in all the different causes. Because it's a handful of people have this ideology, and they promote it without filling in the blanks, or leave it to you to assume. And people assume the worst, and so this is why everybody's running around thinking the cars are causing all the world problems as far as weather and environmental issues. Industrial pollution, not cars. So don't feel guilty about driving a gas car. I think I'm going to stick with a gas car because I just don't think that I'm going to give my money to electric cars. But I just don't think they're giving me back enough for my money. As I say, they can run two and a half times as much as a standard car. We're basically the same thing, and everybody gets in the car and they get this screen with all this thing that looks like a nuclear power plant on their screen. They get all excited and think, here I'm saving the world, which they're not. And I'll tell you something, there's a shitload of pollution in mining for battery, for the stuff in batteries and stuff. And apparently, I haven't investigated, but it's apparently worse than what it is in gravity fuel. Lots of pollution in that, and lots of tearing up landscape that would normally be torn up. But yeah, I'm going to stick with the gas, and everybody can buy what they want. I hope you all buy electric, because that'll get my gas prices down from $400 a year to $100 a year. Yeah, that could work. I like that. Anyways, so what I think will happen is you're going to have an outright price war at the end. And that's when we'll see who survives, because I guarantee you one's going to kill the other. And it's going to be a one-shot deal. It's none of this dragging out, let's see what happens. They're going to go right for the throat. Either electric is going to blow the oil industry right off the map, or the oil industry is going to blow the electrics off the map. And I kind of think the oil will be, because they've been in the game longer. and they've got more to lose. And very, very powerful people, lots of money behind them. They could do anything to win. See ya.